Elliot and Sam.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm finally starting to get the cadence there, right? Between the two names.
Yeah, that was better.
That was better than last week. Last week was a little all over the place.
You mastered the art of sounding surprised, even though you know when you're going to start the podcast.
I am the only one who knows.
Yeah.
All right. Pack show today. We're gonna just skip the beginning shit. We want to talk about the major, and then we're gonna do all of our predictions for next year.
Yeah, and go over our predictions from last year.
Yeah, normally we rate this into 2 shows, but I've determined that that is stupid, and we are not doing that anymore. So we are doing it all today.
Yeah, so
Long
lock
podcast.
in. Yeah, lock in on your
ready.
commute.
All right, let's begin with the major. Phase 1, right? That's what we're at.
Yeah, it was like they did the reverse Boston. They came back on map 3.
Phenomenal comeback. I was really happy.
Right, on to predictions.
So I guess let's start with the quarterfinals. Let's go match by match. We've got a little bit of time to do this. Mongols v MOUZ went about.
Bottle.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So MOUZ won this match. I think to two of our surprises. I'm pretty sure Elliot said MOUZ.
I said MOUZ, but I didn't think it would be quite as easy as it was for them.
It's kind of unfortunate the Mongols run ends with the quarterfinals.
Well, the thing is, right, as we talk about MOUZ being inexperienced and being young and not being that good on stage, you know Mongols' average age is younger than the MOUZ average age?
Yeah.
Like, they are younger and
their
more
experience on stage also just completely outstrips Mongols.
Yeah, like for all the talk of MOUZ being inexperienced on stage, they've had they had a lot more games on stage than nearly everyone that isn't like a top 5 team. Like, they've more games on stage than most teams. And Senzu in particular just fell apart in this game. Mazzinho, he was the youngest on the team. There is like a sweet spot in age where it's like, if you're too young, you just don't feel pressure and you're fine. Like Monesi's first event, Mazzinho at 16, like these kids they just don't care. Like, their brains aren't even fully formed yet. They can't feel pressure. And then at like 19, where you get like most of the MOUZ team, and to be fair, most of the Mongol team, you have like this spot where you sort of realise how scary it is to be on stage, and you sort of choke a little bit. Senzu, he choked. It's simple as that.
Senzu, his collapse is one of the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like,
it was
from where he was to how he played in that game, and it makes me hope that the Mongols get to a lot more playoffs, because now the interesting thing about them is whether that will be a consistent factor.
Yep.
Or whether he just takes that and he's like, all right, well, I can just, like, if I still shoot people in the head, they still die.
Yeah.
And that will be a big thing to see.
I think he'll have, if they keep getting to these events, he'll have one game where everything clicks and it'll be fine. I always use this example in football. I remember watching Jude Bellingham as a 16-year-old, and his first few games. For those who don't know, Jude Bellingham, one of the best footballers in the world now. But at 16, he was playing for Championship Birmingham City, and you could tell he was a bit timid. And then at one point, he just got the ball on the wing, and his like instincts took over, and he body feinted one way and sent this like poor Championship defender for a fucking hot dog. And you could just see in his head, he went, "Oh, this is really easy. It's just like playing against teenagers. I can just body feint and they'll go. I can just fake shot and they'll go."
It's a massive shame that he's still a rat from Stourbridge, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
I was gonna say,
Senzu will have that moment, I think.
Thanks for letting me in on the context there, because we know who that was for. So yeah, that's the start. MOUZ went on to face the winner of Spirit Liquid, which both of you predicted was going to be Spirit.
Yeah.
I was a little wrong on this one.
Look,
you'll see that is a continuous factor today of Logan being wrong about things.
In fairness, both me and Sam were very worried that Team Spirit wouldn't get out of the group stage. So, you know, I'm still kind of worried they won't get out of it.
I mean,
Yeah.
given how they played in the fucking final, I really do think we were justified. Because if Magix hadn't have decided he was actually going to be good for the first time all year, this would be a different podcast.
We love Magic.
No.
We love Magic.
No.
It'd be called Overtime on Dust 2, not Overtime on Inferno.
We love Magic.
We didn't get.
I don't
the
feel like
overtime
talking about the Spirit
sadly.
Liquid game anymore. G2 Heroic.
Fair enough.
I didn't even
I'm
hear
just-
what you
I'm
said.
just
I didn't
joking.
hear what you said.
I mean, I half had a point.
You can give a point.
Okay.
I can't be asked to talk about it anymore. That
I'll
doesn't mean
give-
you can't be asked to talk about it anymore.
Okay, I'll give my point. Thank you for your you allowing me to do so. Just how shit was Liquid's run, really? You
That
know
might
what?
be the. You always sound a little bit Thorin. That might have been the most Thorin you've ever sounded.
Well,
No,
hold on.
seriously though,
Hold
like,
on for
who
a
the
moment.
fuck did they
Sam,
play? And I know
how many-
Vitality beat the same teams.
Hold on, wait, before you go,
Yeah,
Sam,
wow.
how many games did you predict at the beginning of the major that Liquid was going to win? 'Cause
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
remember
that's
the
a non-point.
exact number.
That's a non-point. Let's talk about your predictions in a bit, mate. How about that? one?
Oh, we're going to. Trust
Right.
me. This is the.
Seriously though, this Liquid team is fucking garbage. They're garbage. If they didn't play absolute fucking bums, they would have crashed out.
Did they
of
beat
this major.
MIBR?
Well, quite.
Yeah, there we go. That's all I need to hear. All I need to hear.
But like,
MIBR is so bad, beating them makes you worse.
something's got to change with that Liquid team, and I know
It's
it's
Yakindar.
Well, I know it's Yakindar, right? Because like, if you look at his roles, he plays so many good roles and massively underperforms them all. He might have a hard time because everyone else is like busy still in spawn.
Yeah,
But
I think
fuck
he's
me.
he's a little unlucky on the T side that he plays with like so many players who have no interest in playing the game.
still
But
has
on
decent
CT side,
roles,
he's
man.
still dog shit. Yeah, on CT side, he's still bad as well. Like, it's not like he's actually good, but
He does just massively underperform all of his things, and it makes me kind of feel like, okay, you bring in another player, you'll probably get a boost because they're not Yakindar, but how much of a boost can it be?
yeah,
Do they need more than one change?
I think, and it's a little controversial, but I just don't think Liquid have a star player.
No.
People
Well, I
say
think-
it's NAF, but I just don't.
No,
Naf
I
Naf's
think
not a
it's
star
Naf.
player.
He doesn't take over. He doesn't.
I really like
He's
Naf,
fine
but
as a
Naf's not star player.
facilitator, but he's
I-
like
The
I think
closest person
Liquid
to have
should
is
have one.
Twists,
Well,
but it's
Yeah.
not Twists.
Liquid should have one,
Yeah.
and it should be Twist. Not that I really think that's how you best utilize Twists. Like the
No.
way FaZe did or 2019 Liquid is the best usage of Twists.
Yeah.
But he kind of has shown that he can do it.
yeah.
The problem is he's
Oh, yeah, he
now
can.
the IGL, so he's not really.
No, he
in the
should not be
position
star
to do
player
it.
and I.
So what you're saying is they need to put Yakindar back to in-game leading.
Okay,
no.
no, we're moving on.
What I'm
We're moving
saying
on.
is they need to get rid of two players, and one of the players they bring in should probably be an IGL.
And the other should be a superstar player. But I mean, everyone wants an IGL and a superstar. It's kind of
Well,
the
and the other one should be someone with hands and not Yakindar.
yeah. But they need a star. They don't have a star. They've got three like I don't want to use the word support because they're not
No, I
support players,
think-
but they're
No,
like
facilitators is the right
I,
word.
I think Twist can be the star. I think he can.
Liquid
You can,
have
but you're not
one
gonna
of
win.
the- They have one of the better supporting casts around a star. Like if you took
Yeah.
Monacy and put him into this team, he'd be supported excellently. If you
Yeah.
took Rops and put him in this team, he'd be supported excellently behind him. And that's not from saying support players.
Sorry. Rops in the team would be so funny. Nobody would be doing anything. They wouldn't move.
Inverted games of counter.
Put I
leave
will and put
spawn.
Donkin. You put any of like the big star players in this team, and they'd be excellently facilitated around it.
I'd
Oh, yeah,
also,
no, I do
I'd
agree.
also just like to say it's really fucking annoying me that everyone thinks like Ultimate's sick again after he just shit on tier 3 and 2 teams for the last
He's
2 weeks.
fine. Like he's not an issue. with
He'll
this team.
get battered at tier 1 events again.
Okay, but he is not.
FaZe
the biggest
just made the
problem.
final with Brokey. Like the Ultimate is not the problem.
They won a Grand Slam with Brokey.
Exactly.
We'll see.
All
We'll
right,
see.
G2 Heroic. G2 Heroic. We're moving on. Otherwise, we're gonna have an hour and a half long podcast.
Yeah.
We have a lot to get to today. G2 Heroic.
It was for all by what everyone told me, it was a great game, but it was on at 6 a.m, so I didn't.
Yeah,
watch it.
I'd love to say I watched it. I didn't.
I
mean,
wanted that was
one
the game I
more.
really wanted to watch because
Yeah.
I've been really high on Heroic, to much to your surprise. But I think from what I gather, they were really good in this game and had a good chance of winning it. They're just quite solidly a top 8 team, but they're not a top 5 team yet.
Do you know what the fucking strange thing is about Heroic, right? I'm
lot
now
of
with
things.
you on the fact that, well, yeah, but I'm now with you on the fact they're pretty good, right? You've swayed me once again. To my
Yeah.
annoyance, you have swayed me. No one else seems to realise it. Like,
No.
even when they make the major playoffs, even when they then look competent against G2, I still see people like, well, you should just make like 3 changes to the team.
Yeah. I don't get it. Like, right,
I
man for
wanna
man, this team is great. Kicksant, by the way, was probably the one I was least high on. Calling rings around some good IG, or like it's a decent
Well,
IGL.
that's the worst part. I've seen people like, oh, you should get Snappy and some Pius over Degster and fucking Kicks.
What are you
Fuck off.
talking about?
Like,
So okay, can we come back to this for a second? Because
no.
goes into our prediction bit from a little later, but we had after our prediction show from last year, we actually had Snappy message us to say who the best roster move was going to be of this year.
Yeah.
And Snappy messaged Elliot and said it was Nertz.
So yeah,
and
he
said,
said he
without
should be
question-
rookie of the year, and he'll probably be signing of the year, or something along those lines. Like,
Yeah, and
we love Snappy. I hope he still
like
listens.
look at
Nerds
this
is
shit.
fucking legit.
Yeah, Nerds is so good.
Like, Nerds was
That's what I mean.
incredibly good.
Man for man, this Heroic team is so good. Tesses is like, as a 3rd star, he's great. You would have no qualms. Shush, one of the best support players in the world, if not the best. Nerds, a great start. Degster, little mercurial, but he's pretty fucking good when he's on it. At his peak, Degster is dangerous. I mean, I know he can be tough to work with, but he's fucking good.
If Liquid were to get Tesses and Kixan right up the rankings, mate, that's all I'm saying.
But why? Like, why would...
Okay, hold on.
Is
If
that team
any
better than
was to
Heroic?
get Testis and Kicksand, most teams to get Testis and Kicksand,
Maybe.
they are improved.
Liquid would rather have Nerds than... I mean, everyone would rather have Nerds than Tesses, but you know what I mean. Like,
No, I
they
think
need
if you got
Nerds.
Twist and Naf, though, push Twist back to what he used to be, have Naf do Shush's job, it's probably better.
You're relying a lot on Twist being as good as he used to be straight after in-game leading, which does happen, but it's not always...
Well, maybe.
It doesn't always work like that.
All right. Vitality phase.
This did not go as I expected it to.
ZywOo cannot be a top 10 team on stage in the major. He can't. He refuses to. He's never been good against a good team in the major.
Is this
never
where we
happened.
start? Is this where we start to bring up the tweets that you've made, Elliot, about oh God, FaZe is going to actually win this?
I put in the newsletter they were going to beat Vitality. Sort of as a joke. That sort of like... I think I said last week, I was like, there's absolutely no way FaZe should win this game, which is exactly... Like, we were all like,
exactly
yeah...
why they'll win
We
this
were all
game.
going to go like, this is a Vitality walkover, and I'm like... That's exactly why FaZe are probably going to win this game. I didn't think they'd beat G2, I will say that.
All
So
right,
the
fair
other,
enough, that could
the
be
last
quite
match is Vitality phase, and I think that we can all just. I feel fairly
The problem
confident in
is,
Vitality.
the problem is, FaZe are rubbish. And Vitality don't lose to bad teams. And that is
Yes.
exactly why this is the exact sort of fucking game that FaZe will pull out of their fucking arsehole and win. Somehow, Carrigan is going to drop like 60. I don't know how, but he's going to do the fucking clap at the fucking 12-2 down. They're going to come back and win a game in triple overtime, and they're going to somehow beat Vitality. I don't know how,
Well,
because they're
no.
rubbish. But I was like, a little part of me was like, Vitality are a dead team. I don't know if you've seen Apex's quotes from today as well.
No,
No, I haven't
But
actually.
he basically said it's difficult to win the major when you're not a real team.
Oh,
Which
sick.
a lot of people are saying is alluding to Spinks.
where do you say that?
I think I saw it on Reddit, which I don't like admitting.
Oh dear, you actually ooh
Yeah, I was.
gone down
Alright.
in my estimations.
I use it for like Balatro and Pokemon. That's all, and
Oh,
it popped
sure,
up
sure.
as like, oh, you've been on this subreddit before.
Right.
But yeah, no, it came up like an Apex basically said, yeah, we want a real team. So with the fact that they were a dying team, the fact that ZywOo choked on stage, I was like, there is a chance. There is a chance FaZe beat them. But
I do wonder where the fuck Spinks can go, you know. Well, because from what I'm...
Oh, well, he won't go to Falcons, will he?
Well, he won't go to Falcons. From what I'm hearing, he won't have a spot on G2.
No, yeah.
So, where can he go? I mean, there's another thing I'm hearing that there's a potential he could be a replacement there. That I don't
like.
think...
So my thinking was MOUZ.
There's no way they can afford him.
I don't think MOUZ can. Yeah, that's the problem. I'm not sure.
I don't
MOUZ
think
can
they'd
afford
do
it.
it.
Who would MOUZ remove?
Who would they lose?
Yeah, they're losing Yimfat.
That's a good point.
They're
There's-
just going to lose Yimfat.
There's
No, I
no
know,
way
but is
Jim
Spinks
Fast
really
is.
the Yimfat replacement?
Not really.
No,
Yeah.
but
And MOUZ have never gone the we're going to sign a big star thing. They
haven't.
They have a lot of trust in their scouting department and pulling up people that they think will fit the roles. They're not a Sphinx suitor.
They're not, but there is a world where they go, well, we've got this core, and we're really close. What we need is a superstar to push us over the edge. They might think that it's Spinks. I don't think they would. If FaZe or Liquid lost a player, I think they'd be in for Spinks.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Realistically, the only real place I can see, because I'm not sure Liquid would lose the right player, but if someone like Rops is getting a phone call from Falcons, just go and get Spinks. Yeah, if that's a thing.
If that's a thing.
Might be a thing, who knows?
Who knows?
All right. We're moving this along. We got a lot to go over. G2 FaZe was one of the semifinals. The other one was MOUZ Spirit. Is there anything specific either of you would like to talk about here?
MOUZ is so bad on stage, man. It's so sad. It's
Fucking
so
Exertion,
sad.
man.
It's so sad. Exertion is so good in group stages, and he's just so shit on stage.
Do you know what,
It's
though,
so
right?
sad.
The entire year, I've been like, you got to get rid of your Kindar. Exertion's the play. And then every time I see Exertion on stage, I'm like, oh fuck, there is actually no one. This guy's a fucking bum when it matters.
Look, entry fragging is really hard. It is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say that.
But
there are few players whose group stage and playoff performance is quite as specialized as Exertion's. Like, he dropped 4 kills in one of the maps of the semi-final. Like, this is a guy who is a star for MOUZ. Like, he is one of their better players. Like, and in terms of, like, he is an aggro star for them. Like, when they win games, it's often off the back of Exertion. And he just did nothing. I don't know why he's so bad on stage. Like, he's played so many games on stage now, and he just doesn't do it.
His arena rating is 0.98.
Yeah, this is a star player on a top
Like,
4 team, top 5 team.
He fucking sucks.
It's so sad because he's so fun to watch when he's good, and then he's just not good.
the when he's good, that's the operating.
I know, but like in group stages, he's so good.
The problem is as well.
He's so bad on stage.
He's bad to a point where I actually think he's probably in the Stown boat of like, oh, you're just never overcoming this, are you?
Yeah,
Like,
it seems
there
like
won't
he's
be a
had-
point where this clicks.
There might be, but it's probably in a few years. Like, he's got
It's not
serious fucking yips.
So Spirit won against MOUZ in that game.
Yeah, I mean, MOUZ went 1-0 up in that as well, and then just got
Yeah.
tonked
then
on
they-
the last 2.
No, they didn't. Oh, yes,
they
they
not?
did.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I was gonna say they did.
I'm
They
looking at
got-
the Spirit
They went
FaZe
1-0
game.
up and then got tonked.
I'm looking at the final when it was back and forth. And
Yeah.
I had the wrong thing up. Yeah. What the fuck happened to G2 in the G2 FaZe game?
G2 did as G2 do.
MOUZ,
They got out called, obviously, but
well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big one. Like, everyone will be there. Like, well, at least Snacks decided to shoot his gun on the last map. That's fine.
No.
That's fine. Their CT rotations were pretty dog shit. There was a couple
Carrigan-
of very easy rotations on T side, and he let Nico get repeatedly clipped. Like, what are you talking about?
Well. Did he let Nico get, or is Nico at least somewhat responsible for just constantly dying? Come on. Like,
I'm not saying
no, because Snacks is always calling like this. Snacks' calling is always kind of dodgy, and
I'm not
Nico
saying
is
there's
always
no-
getting like dog.
I'm not saying there's no fault of Nico. That's a different point that I'm sure we'll come to in a minute, right? But are you telling me that Carrigan allows that? Like, and Snacks just gets fucking rings called around him as soon as
Oh, he does. But it
as
doesn't
soon
matter.
as there aren't two people headshotting and brute forcing their way through rounds. Like, they're fucked.
The insane thing is I can tell you, I did not watch this game. Let's be very clear. This game was on at like 2 in the morning for me. I did not watch this game, okay? I can guarantee you right now that Carrigan called go A on Nuke 4 times in a row, and Snacks didn't do shit about it. Then he stood up, he did his clap thing, and he did one more time.
I don't
And
think
they
he did
couldn't
the
do anything
clap.
about it.
I don't think he did that. I think that's probably
There's
why
at least
they
12
didn't win the
head
major.
points.
He didn't do enough clips. But like, like Snacks does get called around all the time. But the thing is, G2 aren't signing Snacks to be a. I don't think.
No.
Genuinely, I don't think Nico wants to be told what to do. I think there's a reason they sign in-game leaders who are either too bad at the game when Nico can ignore them and everyone's like, yeah, it's fine, or don't really know how to call that well. Because I don't think Nico wants to be told what to do. I really don't. And I know you're going to say it's a bit of a cliche. I think there's a reason G2 signed Snacks. I don't think they think of him as this great in-game leader.
I think it's probably
How-
because
okay.
Taz's brain power is equivalent to Snacks. But I do agree with your point, but I also think at the same time there is a level somewhere, and that level's probably Hooksy, between Snacks and, you know,
Carrigan.
like a Carrigan or an Alexi, someone.
because he's had Carrigan
not-
and he hated
not
him
so,
as well.
Not so much Carrigan, because I feel like, I mean, Carrigan has a system, but there's a freedom within the system, like, you know, just not someone like overly rigid. Like, there has
MSL.
to be a middle.
MSL is the most rigid
Yeah, okay.
in-game leader I can
Like,
think of.
So
There has to be a middle ground that suits Nico, or he probably just needs to start calling himself and have genuinely Hooksy as a coach.
So I understand that this conversation is stupid because Nico's leaving Falcons, leaving for Falcons, not leaving Falcons. Okay, how different would this would this G2 team be if instead of signing an IGL, they just signed another fucking star player, and before every game
We might be
they
about
wrote-
to find out.
Well, and before every single game, they just wrote on the piece of paper that they're all allowed to have. Round 1, this is what we're doing. Round 2, if you won the last round, do this. If you lost
Literally,
the last round, do
give
this.
him a flow chart.
You just
Go have
literally
a
make a
game
game
leader,
flowchart.
just
There
have
is
a flow
no
chart.
IG line. You pre-plan all of it with Taz. You just make a giant flowchart, and that's it.
I don't think any of their results would change, put it that way.
Yeah, which means they would still be the best team in the world.
I think I've said it multiple times. Snacks was always a fucking mistake. They should have genuinely just got rid of Taz, asked Hooksy to retire and become a coach, let Nico IGL and sign an anchor, and they would have been so much fucking better.
Nico's problem is he had the best in-game leader of all time, and he kicked him. So now he will never have the best in-game leader in the world ever again, and Carrigan is going to haunt him in every single fucking major by getting to the like. He had Carrigan,
Yep.
and he lost a major final with him.
Well, there's only a
And
couple like
lost
top
faith in
tier
him.
IGLs, and he will not get any of them at this point.
Yeah, he's
Like,
had
he-
most of them.
No, but like he's
He
not
could
going to
get
get
Suhi.
Suhi. I don't think he's going to get Suhi.
He could get Chopper.
Suhi has the.
Nah, I don't know, man.
Suhi has the when Carrigan retires, you get the call up contract.
No,
Yeah, he does.
like, don't get me wrong.
which is
he
not
probably,
on Falcons.
He probably has that, right? But remember that report that Vitality were looking at dumping Apex? Promise you they were only going for one man if they were doing that. I
Yeah.
fucking promise you.
Yeah.
So Vitality,
Blitz.
like, Vitality will want Shuey. Falcons will 100% want him. Like, I don't think it's going to be as cut and dry for FaZe this time. And I think when Jimfat leaves, there's going to be a few MOUZ players that are like, can I?
I actually think Falcons would want Apex.
Yeah.
I think it would be a disaster, but I think Falcons would want Apex.
I actually agree.
I think they'd maybe get Apex now, like now.
All right.
But if we're talking like, if Magisk decides he's going to IGL, and it doesn't work out in 6 months to a year, I don't see why Nico doesn't get Shuey.
All right, grand final, Spirit FaZe. Went down to the last map, last couple of rounds.
I was a little bit annoyed. I was a bit annoyed because Spirit won the first map and I was getting excited. And I could only watch the third map intermittently because I was out. So I was catching bits of it, and I was hoping Spirit would have it done and dusted in 2 maps. And then I was like, Spirit were winning map 3, and I was like, oh, okay, I can relax. Oh no, I couldn't relax. I was like, okay, they're getting close. And then I just saw like people talking about FaZe coming back. I knew it. So I found like a minute to get on Twitch and I just saw, congratulations Team Spirit. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Good has won against evil once again. Chopper has his major.
I mean, that fucking 12-10 round, man.
Yeah,
that is one of
that was
genuinely
the round with the jumping off shot.
That is one of the worst rounds of Counter-Strike I have ever seen.
I thought I was going mad when people were saying it was a great round of Counter-Strike.
Don't get me wrong. It's exciting, and that's what Counter-Strike should be. Good. But let's not pretend it was good. The best thing that happened, or the 2 best things that happened in that round, was Magic's
Donk Century.
Was Magic's already being fucking scoped in on fucking the long corner or Rain's first kill. Like, everything else was terrible.
Nice. I'll give Rain the first kill.
Yeah,
that was
everything else was terrible. Rop should never get a jumping AWP. Ridiculous. We all know that's fucking bullshit. Fucking Brokey. Everything Brokey did should immediately get him sent to the bench. I don't care if they won the fucking round. I don't know what that motherfucker was doing. Like...
No. I've got a different favourite Brokey moment, which was on Nuke, where they just won a round, and it was like 7-11. It was like a really important round, and he gets his AWP and jumps onto Hot against an A-rush. He was on Hot with an AWP. I love him so much. He's such an idiot. He's so
genuinely one of the stupidest players. And I
love him so much.
The thing with Brokey that fucking drives me mental is just the amount of easy fucking shots he misses. Like, he misses the easiest shots and then he'll hit one of the greatest clips you've ever seen. He's just... angers me. Actually angers me.
He's so fun. But the thing is, like, there's a reason he frags on stage, because people say this a lot about players. Brokey actually plays major finals like a pug. That he actually does. He plays as if, like, there is no pressure on him at all times. And it's
because he doesn't have the brain capacity to feel pressure.
I don't care. Like, he doesn't.
Like
I don't
Flames
care.
and JL. Like...
Yeah, exactly. Or Cole Palmer. Like, he actually, he does not give a shit about pressure, and it's why he actually frags in big games, because he does things that nobody else is willing to do. Like, you would not, and I know it didn't work, and this is a bad example, but you would not see Torzy playing on Hut with an AWP ever, and you certainly wouldn't see him doing it in a major final. Brokey, okay, it didn't work, but
that's because they've already choked in the semis of the quarters.
Fine, but he wouldn't do it in a quarterfinal. Brokey in a he'll play an AWP in any angle in the quarterfinal. He does not care. He'll probably miss, but he'll do it again. Like, he'll miss and he'll do it again anyway. Like, that's, of all the criticisms you can have of Brokey, he's fucking ice cold. He doesn't care.
Idiot. That's why.
Yeah, he's an idiot. I don't care. You know that Freakazoid clip where he's like, I need some non-thinkers on my team. You've got to have every great Counter-Strike team has an idiot.
Who was Astralis?
Good question. Dupree.
Okay.
No.
I don't need you to elaborate. That's fine. I was going to accept whichever answer.
I was going to say Sipner because that seemed unfair.
It would have been better if you said Glaive.
Oh, well, I mean,
I would have
admittedly-
really enjoyed
so-
it if you said Glaive.
I was considering. Glaive kind of plays like an idiot. His calling was great, but he kind of plays like an idiot.
Yeah.
But he does. He spent most of his time in smokes.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations to Spirit for winning the major.
I mean, how good is Donk though? He's so good.
He's so good.
Like that's we've managed to not mention Donk.
Well,
so
we're
far.
going
Him
to
and
talk about
Magix were
Donk
just
a lot in a moment.
true.
So I am now going to hand the metaphorical torch over to Sam, who, because he was not part of our 2024 predictions, is going to run the two of us looking back at our 2024 predictions, because he has some questions for us.
I have many questions for you two. There are some good
there are a lot for
predictions
me.
here. You know,
Yeah.
Logan, you've had one that in the last week has become one of the greatest predictions, at least on this list.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, fuck me. So, let's get it started with the player of the year. Now, Elliot, you said Donk, fucking boring.
No, hang on. This was before Katowice. This was before he played a major event. This was
What?
not boring at the time.
After he just carried Spirit through the first fucking reverse sweep on LAN. Yeah, bold prediction,
Yeah,
Elliot.
fucking
bold
Bet Boom
prediction,
Dubai. Bet Boom Dhaka. Yeah, oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're right. He was the best player at Bet Boom Dhaka.
Oh, he
that
was
means he's going to be
always gonna be
number
good.
one next year. Yeah,
He was
number
always
one
gonna be
next
good.
year.
And
Number
they'd probably
one.
already signed Shiro at that point as well. I don't know when you
Yeah,
did
I
the
don't rate
podcast.
Shearer.
Yeah, but he was obviously going to make the team better, wasn't he?
They'd have been fine with Wonderful. He replaced Wonderful.
Well, he replaced Art Frost.
Odd.
Oh right, sorry. They would if they just kept Wonderful, they'd also have been fine. For some reason, they kicked him for Art Frost. That was the problem.
Well,
Wonderful is as good as Shiro.
it's probably due to his inability to actually talk during a game at that point. But
Well, yeah, but
anyway, Donk's
Can
quite
I
good.
can I give a quote for something that Elliot said when he picked Donk?
You can.
go on.
Okay. Elliot, you said, I don't want to be looking back in a year going, it's so obvious Donk was going to be the best player in the world a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you're pretending like it wasn't that obvious.
It wasn't
Yeah,
that
really.
obvious.
Okay. Okay.
He was the best player at Bet Boom Dhaka. I'm sorry. Next time somebody top frags fucking Thunderpick World Championship, you're going to tell me they're the best player in the world next year, alright?
Let's see what happens.
Whoever's the top fragger
Let's
at
see
Thunderpick
what
World
happens when
Championship,
they
you're
actually
having number
manage
one
to
next
fix
year.
the Pika's advantage and fucking Orpin's back. Fucking can't wait for that day. Anyway, Logan, you said Zywoo. Do you expect a better year out of Vitality?
I expected about the year we got. Okay, so for full context, I went through to review this. I did some tape review before we did this podcast, so I was prepared for the stupid shit I said. And I said in this, I want points and not to be made fun of at the end of the year if I'm wrong.
Sorry,
Because-
I got called boring for picking the guy who was top fragger at Bet Boom Dhaka. He picks Zywoo and admits it's a
Elliot.
safe pick and
Elliot,
doesn't
yeah.
get shit.
Elliot,
Fuck you.
the thing you're missing here is that I like Logan.
Bullshit.
That's the thing you're missing here. Anyway, let's move on to the team of the year. Another boring pick
there's
from Elliot
There's
here.
some takes in here.
He went for Spirit.
Yeah, again, well before they won anything.
Okay,
No,
Do you
I'll-
think
I'll
they
agree
are
with
the team
Elliot.
of the year?
I can.
No. Navi.
who would you say is Navi? Okay.
It's Navi. Yeah, like, it
Yeah,
is.
no,
Like,
it is
like,
Navi.
the only thing, you like Spirit obviously won Kato and the Major, but that's only if you rate Kato above everything that Navi won, because they both
Navi
have a
won
major.
more- Navi
Hey, they
were
also
more
won Blast
consistent through
London.
the year.
Wow. Yeah,
They were consistent through the year and not like
Yeah.
Spirit really did the roller coaster effect this
Yeah.
year.
Navi are the team of the year. I think Spirit had the higher peak, but Navi were the better team over the whole year. I think G2 were pretty close though.
That was what I was going to ask. Where'd you put G2? Are they second or third?
Third.
Third.
Okay.
They didn't win like Kato and a Major. That's
Yeah.
two of the big four,
Yeah,
really.
If you're Navi, you won 2 major events. If you're Spirit, you won 2 major events. If you're G2, you won Blast World Championship with dead teams.
What were we saying? Navi's second major
And
event
Dallas?
is?
Oh yeah,
don't
G2
remember.
won Dallas, didn't they? I don't know. What did Navi actually
They won
win?
Dallas with a stand-in.
Navi won. I can do.
I'm
They
looking
won
it up.
a
I
Pro
thought they won a
League,
second big event.
Pro
Oh
League,
yeah, Rio,
Major,
Pro League.
Rio, EWC, and then they
I
made
mean,
the
that
final of
A
That's
second at
multiple
Cologne. Like,
other events.
you have to remember as well, Spirit's Cologne was so catastrophic, where Navi finished second.
But
That's why Navi
I
beat
do
them.
think there is another thing there of like, and I think Navi are the team of the year, but I do think it's more up for debate now because yes, Spirit had an absolutely dog shit Cologne. Navi didn't make playoffs of the major.
They did.
I understand that, but up until the major, they were the most consistent team of the year. They're the best team of the year. Spirit won the other major, won one of the 2 biggest non-major events. They're the second team of the year. G2's, like, if your fight is for G2 here, G2 won Dallas and Blast World Championships, and that was it.
Yeah,
Like there's
they
a
just
strong,
didn't
there's a real
quite
like
have
thought
the-
process that you could say Vitality were better than G2 because Vitality won Cologne, and G2's best event was winning fucking Blast World Championships with dead teams, or Dallas with a stand-in. So like, there is, I would think about putting G2 fourth in the world.
Wait, no,
Yeah.
hang on. You've just said something interesting there. If G2 won Blast World Final against dead
with
teams,
dead teams.
They beat Spirit in the final, by the
did
way.
Spirit win a major with dead teams? Therefore,
Yeah, they did.
Spirit's major win is also
Every
shit.
major is with dead teams. There's not
There's
such thing
more
as a
dead
major
teams
without
than
But are
dead
we
teams.
using that? But can we use that as a
No.
way to take down G2 and not take down Spirit?
No, the reasoning is because you go look at Blast Worlds, right?
Because look at if we're saying dead teams, look at what Apex said earlier. Clearly, there was a massive issue
No,
in Vitality.
I get that. I understand it. But Blast World Championship was like what, 4 teams that were going to the major. It was a couple teams.
It was pre-RMR.
Yeah, it was pre-RMR, but I'm pretty sure there were stand-ins throughout here, and you could tell that no one gave a shit.
For what it's worth, I found the Apex quote that you were just talking about, I mentioned earlier. On Instagram, he said, really tough ending of the season when you're not a real team. It's really tough to win the major, and that's what I feel for a couple of months. We end the season with only 1 trophy and a lot of downs. Need to reflect this past year and see what's next for us and me.
I mean, it's not that dead, but I'm pretty sure Navi had a stand in this event. That sounds correct in my brain. G2 was playing with... Were they playing with Jack? No, Vitality was playing with Jax.
I think Vitality had the only stand-in.
Astralis was playing... No, Astralis was playing with a stand-in. Because they played with fucking Cadian.
Wow.
However
really a
you want to
stand-in.
talk about...
I'd argue Device as a stand-in.
It's not
But-
really the stand-in. It was Cadian had the broken wrist for World Final, right?
Oh, this wasn't the Brovid event?
No, that was full final.
Different Blast event?
Yeah, it was full
I'll
final.
get fucking mixed up in my head. But, I don't rate this event that much, especially because it was right before the major started and right before RMRs.
I don't rate it that highly.
No, I'm not saying
but-
you should. I'm not saying you should rate
But,
it.
like,
I just think it's disingenuous to say
No,
dead teams
I
As
see
a-
what you're saying, and the
as a
teams are
slight
not
against
as
G2 and then not Spirit.
the teams are not as dead as I thought that they were on without looking back at it. I don't disagree that the major also had some dead teams, but I don't know.
'Cause
I rate the major one
I'd
in Canada
hazard-
a lot higher than
No, of course
fucking
you should
Dallas and
rate it more because
World
people
Finals.
are gonna try harder even if it's dead teams. But I'd hazard a guess that the teams are probably more dead now as people are trying to lock in
Yeah.
deals. But anyway,
Especially as Falcons went out early.
But the
yeah.
major's a different thing. You're always trying at the major. Who fucking cares about Blast World Final?
let's
I do agree.
let's move on because Logan, you also made a prediction, and I'm very confused by it because a minute ago you said Vitality had the year you were expecting them to have. So
Yeah.
why did you pick them to be the team of the year?
because Vitality, the year that I expected Vitality to have, was second place in half the tournaments and 1 or 2 wins. And I expected the rest of the calendar, whenever people won stuff, that it wouldn't have been consecutive wins. I expected like a Spirit here, a Na'Vi here, a G2 here, MOUZ here, and it was kind of be all over the place. But Vitality would have always been top 2. That's the bit I got wrong there. Is Vitality were not always top 2 in the year.
Okay, that makes sense.
I expected that they were going to always be the bridesmaid, never the bride, except for one event, and the fact that they were always in finals would have made them best team in the world.
There's also an interesting bit tagged onto the team of the year where it says Liquid has the potential to be the best team in the world or the worst team. This is a Cadian-led team, so they won't win any events. And let's say that was your better prediction out of the two.
That is a direct quote from me.
We then got first major winner. Elliot said FaZe and that Carrigan would lift the trophy and then retire.
They lost in the final.
Which realistically, as much as we've said Na'Vi team of the year and they deserve that, that major kind of was a fluke.
Yeah.
It's interesting how they went on to have the year they have, but that major kind of undoubtedly was a fluke.
They wobbled afterwards and then hit a level above probably what they
were
at the major.
It was after the player break, wasn't it?
Yeah, they actually came back and they were... At that point, they were a major winning team, but at the point they won the major, they probably weren't that good. FaZe, Carrigan once again choked the final, but I was pretty close.
This prediction you've made is the exact prediction you made 3 weeks ago about this major.
Was it?
Carrigan wins.
He has to retire at some point. He's just waiting till he wins another trophy and then he'll retire.
I honestly think like as long as it's not Kato, if it's like Cologne or Ivor Major next year, he retires the next day.
Yeah, he's going to retire after winning a trophy. Like it's the only way his career can end. It can't. Like, his career can't end with him playing for fucking Eyeballers or something. Like, he can't. He can't go to TSM.
We do have a funnier part of this prediction, by the way. Logan, the target is once again on your back. You said MOUZ. Had you smoked before hitting record?
I stand by this.
I remember that.
You stand by this, do you?
Yes, I stand by this. Here's my question.
So if them fellas hadn't ran onto the stage, they would have won.
Here's my question for you. When I made this prediction, who was the MOUZ team?
The exact same team as they have now.
No, it was not.
No, they didn't have Brolan.
They didn't have Brolan. They still had Frozen.
When did you record this?
We recorded this in January or December, but Brolan's only been on the team for 11 months.
They didn't have. But Brolan played
January
the last
8th is when... No. January 8th is when Brolan transferred from NIP to MOUZ, and we weren't sure if he was staying. We didn't know who the last... So it wasn't Frozen, but we didn't know who the last player was.
Oh, yeah, Frozen had gone to World Final. Did we record this before or after World Final?
Frozen was
because I was away for World Final, so we might have been before World Final.
Frozen was on FaZe for World Final.
Okay, we didn't know that was happening. We did not know that it was going to be Brolan full time.
Yeah.
Who the fuck did you think it was going to be?
That's a great question.
I don't know, but not Brolan. Brolan was absolute.
Clearly, you thought it was fucking God or something.
Well. There was. I know, and I know for a fact they were trying to sign Nert for that spot.
Yeah.
So they went for Nert. Yeah, fine. They went for Nert, and then their backup to Nert's was Brolan.
You've probably just told about 200 times more people that.
Fine.
And knew before, by the way.
But MOUZ tried to sign Nerds. They
just did it
a year ago.
They probably would have got him if they tried a bit earlier. So, like, if they were going for Nerds and ended on Brolan, like, what the fuck was their list? There had to have been players between Nerds and Brolan. Right.
Now, me and you, we both have had doubts about Brolan. He's not been bad for him.
He's actually been alright. But I still just wouldn't trust him. I just don't trust him in a bit. Like Romelu Lukaku, even if he's like got 20 goals a season, you need one goal to win the league. You know he's missing a sitter. You just know he is.
Okay.
how random of a football player was that Elliot just did?
Romelu
not
Lukaku
at
is
all,
like
honestly.
very well known football. Like
Okay.
Very well known.
if you like
Probably-
football, you
I'm,
know
I'm
who
starting to
Romelu
get to the
Lukaku is.
point where you could name a random football player and I still wouldn't know.
Romelu
Like, I could start talking
Lukaku.
about like Damian Dotson or some shit, and you would have absolutely no clue who that is.
Wait,
Does he make cars?
no. Is Damien Dotson he's a basketball
Yeah,
player?
a car manufacturer.
He is. He's a Raptor.
Yeah. I have heard of. I had him on 2K one year, I think.
Anyway,
Crap.
anyway, so the second
Yeah,
major of the year, Elliot, well done. You said team spirit.
Yeah, thank you.
We can move past that one.
Oh,
Logan.
it's so obvious. That's why Logan didn't.
Well,
pick
no,
it.
no, no,
Well, no,
no.
because
the
it
next
just-
bit,
it- like, it
what I said
happened.
is so much worse.
It happened. It's fine. Well done,
What I
Elliot.
said is
It
so
was
much
probably,
worse.
honestly, I actually think it's a really smart prediction.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
But-
going to give you your flowers for that one.
Yeah,
well
because
done.
like that seems like
No,
the
no,
amount of time
no,
it would take
no, no.
Donk to be the best player in the world.
We're moving on. I don't want to hear any more Donk
This is
prop.
like going to the fucking
All right,
principal's office.
Chopper.
It's like,
No more
Anyway.
Donk propaganda. Let's move on to Chopper.
like, I
Anyway.
know what I did.
Logan. So I'm just
I
going to
haven't
read
read
this
it.
off. I'm going to read this off
Yeah,
just as it
You gotta
is.
read everything.
Logan said Simple should join Falcons, in brackets, in January, with 3 exclamation marks. He then also added in brackets, Boros won't be on Falcons by March. Then he said,
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think I
both
said
those are right.
Falcons because of Saudi money.
Yeah. So okay, when I okay, let me context it for a second. When I reviewed the tape, nowhere in there did I actually put a guess of who's going to win the second major. So I defaulted to Falcons when I wrote this because I talked about Falcons for a while.
Now this smells like
I'm not
bullshit,
saying that
Logan.
I'm not
I will
saying
say
that
that not picking one. So defaulting to Falcons is worse than saying
I know.
Falcons.
I
Picking
know.
Falcons
I know.
at least would have had like
I know.
at least you've had some balls about
You
it.
know what? Here's the thing. I said that Simple would be on Falcons by the time the second major came around.
Yeah.
You weren't entirely correct, but you also weren't entirely wrong. But at least you were right about Boros. And with that, I don't want to talk about Falcons anymore until the next time they come up on this list, which I'm sure they they come up on the next.
It's literally
fucking
the
one.
next one.
Jesus fucking Christ. So the biggest roster move of the year, Elliot was the idiot this time. He said, forgetting anything about geopolitics, that the biggest roster move of the year would be Cloud9 signing Simple.
I won't say what I said in our DMs about this before we recorded
don't.
because I
Please
might get
move on.
cancelled.
Please
Yes,
move on.
you will cease to exist. Anyway, Logan once again sat on the fence and just named Falcons. How'd that one work out, buddy?
They made roster moves this year.
Yes,
Does
and
Nico
that's
count
all
this
we'll
year?
say about
Hey,
them. Moving on.
In his
No,
defense, they have
Oh,
signed
for
Nico.
fuck's sake.
Yeah, as I say, does Nico count this year?
They have signed Nico,
signing
that's pretty
Simple
big.
for
No,
teammate?
no, that
It's
counts
like-
next year. Anyway, moving on.
Fuck.
I'm done talking about Falcons until, once again, the next time they come up. Because they do. The
Yep, here they
Contrarian
are.
Award of the Year, the roster move that is correct but annoys everyone. Logan, you said something to complexity. Hasn't really happened. So
No, it should have.
it should
They
have.
should have made a fucking move.
But they didn't.
Maybe
I don't
the,
know what I
maybe
said
the
for
roster
this.
move that's correct but annoys everyone is the fact that complexity should have fucking made
Oh,
a move. and
Elliot.
didn't.
Elliot, I'm going to give it to you. Yours is really good.
Was
It
it?
didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Oh,
but it's
that's
good.
a shame.
You
What did I
said
say?
cutting down.
Oh. Yeah, that's brilliant.
That is good.
It will still be true next year. If we do the same
yeah,
question,
yeah.
I'm going to say the same thing.
Yeah, just
Except
run
it's
it
not
back.
unpopular anymore.
No, it's not.
Now it's
Um,
cutting blame F.
Right. The rising star of 2024, and for some reason, in brackets, it says, the I swear to God if you put head trick / donk award.
Okay, so the context for this is the first year we did this award, every goddamn pro when they do their like top 20 like predict the next star put fucking head trick,
Yeah.
and the next year every goddamn fucking pro put donk. So
If I
this
didn't
is
put
the-
MOUZ for this, I'm going to fucking kill myself.
This is the fucking put someone other than who
Okay.
every goddamn person's predicted.
Okay. So, Elliot,
Did I say MOUZ? I better have.
You
done.
said a lot of names.
unfortunately, you do not have to kill yourself because you
Come
both said
on!
MOUZ. You did both say MOUZ. You also, and I'll give you I'll give you all.
This is gonna be bad.
No, I'll
No.
give you all three of these, but one of them, his star hasn't risen quite as fast as I thought it was, and probably not yours either. But then again, if it had, he'd probably be on Nip, so it's probably a good thing. You said Ricardia, Nilo, and Crimbo, which are all three solid choices.
I said Nilo.
Yes.
You did. You said
I don't
Nilo.
even know who Nilo is. Why the hell did I say that?
Oh, because you thought it was popular opinion. Anyway.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Welcome to the principal's office again.
Crimbo's also a bit of a cop-out.
This, by the way, is Logan's fucking worst one of all. This is incredible. This motherfucker said Kakanito, or whatever he say his name. Who is...
Satsanito.
What? I don't care. Utter dog shit, Logan. Right?
Yeah.
We're going to do a thing now, Logan. Bear with me. Where is it? Reset that. Don't you see this, Logan? It's very out of focus. You have 1 minute. Defend yourself.
I can't.
There's no point in me holding this up. Fuck this.
bad.
I'll just tell you when it's done.
There's a
No,
a
Elliot,
radio show.
Elliot. This is Logan's time.
This
Give
is
him a minute to try and come up with something, and then you can say something.
He had a decent major. I think that where was Kashanito at this point, right? So, like, here's the question. He was at this point, I think, he was still signed to Apex, and I had a lot more faith in the Apex team. That's it. I think I had a lot. For what it's worth, again, I did my film review for this. Elliot and I had a lot of faith in Apex through this podcast. It does not show in the notes that were taken, but there was a lot of unnecessary faith in Apex this year.
Okay, well, at some point you've got 5 further seconds to defend yourself, but I'm not going to lie to you, mate. That was a pretty shit defense.
Okay, actually, I'm going to take my 5 seconds right now. My defense is that he's now on a team with Guardian, Jacob, Lekro, and Prime Taps.
What the fuck is a Prime Taps? Moving on.
Doesn't matter.
There's a radio
Moving
show.
on.
There's a radio show
Oh,
called
God.
Fighting Talk, and at the end of it, the last two standing have a game called Defend the Indefensible, where they give them 20 seconds, and they just say just as they're about to get their 20 seconds, they just say to them, "You have to defend this take." And that's what I feel like you've just done to Logan. They just say they just give you 15 seconds, and or like if it was me, you would just say to me, Blame F is the best player in the world, and I'd have 15 seconds to try and defend Blame F being the best player in the world. It's really funny. They get whenever they have a Spurs fan, they make them say something nice about Arsenal. It's quite amusing.
Okay, so for storyline of the year, Logan, and do you know what? I can't be fucked to talk about them, so we're just going to move past this. Falcons failing to build a super team was funny.
Correct.
Moving on.
Good predictions.
Elliot, we're going to move on from this one because we spoke about it earlier on in the podcast, but you did say heroic to relevance, which is really good from you.
They were a real shit team.
I was a lot
like last year.
I was a lot lower on the team. However, they had Nika, like when they first formed, which is when you would have done this. I was lower on the team. However, they had Nika Dos, so that was justified. But moving on to the other one that was in this, because this was your prediction, Elliot, and I don't know if you've looked back on this yet.
I haven't yet. No.
It's not good, mate.
It's not good.
Monty turning into a contender like Ents.
Ooh.
You know what? They contend exactly like Ents currently do.
I think at the start of the year they were actually okay, and then they now have like D-Hair on it, and it's just bad. Like they're just
their team sucks. I don't want to talk about them. I just wanted to see.
They did lose. Yeah, they did lose a couple of players, but yeah, that's not pretty.
Okay, so we've now got the best prediction on this list. The dumbass move of the year. This one comes from Logan. He said VP minus Jame. Well done, Logan.
Wow.
Well done.
As I
Fair
say,
play.
Proud of yourself for that one.
The hardest bit of the prediction
play.
is dumbass move of the year, because not only do you need to predict a move, you need
It
to
has
predict
to
a
be
move that will
stupid.
go bad. It's stupid enough to happen, but it's good enough that it will go bad.
I suspect we're about to see how hard it is to do this with my. I can't remember what I predicted, but I imagine it wasn't good.
It's not terrible.
Yours isn't terrible, actually, Elliot, and I understand why you made it. You just said Falcons minus Snappy because they pissed him off.
which, by the way, is pretty close to true.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Snappy is not happy.
We did surprisingly well on Dumbass Move of the Year, which says a lot about us.
There is one more to this one though that I'm not sure did happen really, unless one of you two can think of something. But the other one just said blowing up a long simmer team, and I'm not sure that did happen.
Blowing up, I'm not even sure what that means.
So we defined Long Simmer team last year as a team that we knew was not going to be good at the beginning of the year, but should stay together because they would get a lot better.
Oh, okay.
Something like MOUZ.
Yeah.
Though
I know what my dumbass move for the year next year is going to be, and it's going to be not.
I don't think that happened though.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it shortly because
the best question of the year.
The greatest question here, which we won't comment on at all. I'm just going to go through it. Predict how many players EG will have on their CS roster at the end of 2024. Elliot said that there will be 1 in contract jail. Logan claimed there would be 5.
I don't even know what the answer is.
Well,
I actually have no idea.
You have to give the context for my 5.
You said that evil geniuses will die and someone will buy the branding. Moving swiftly on, because we do not need to talk about EG. Most roster moves over the year. Elliot, you said Fnatic, completely fair. Logan, you said Falcons, also fair. And you both said Astralis. Yeah.
I mean,
I've got nothing to say about any of these other than
if you include Astralis cutting Bro, bringing him back, you know.
Yeah, the Broviz saga really bumps the numbers on that.
The only thing I'll have to say about it is that from a quick look, it was actually Ents, and I feel like, depending on when it was recorded, you maybe could have predicted that considering the rushed pile of shit roster that they put out at the start of the year.
Yeah. Not entirely unfair.
That was
I stand by what we said, but Ents was a good take. Ents would have been a good take.
So, the final one is Valve's biggest change to CS in 2024. Logan, you said kernel level anti-cheat. Fair.
That was great prediction right there.
Very optimistic. Elliot, you said Pika's advantage fixed, a new map no one has ever seen before, into the pool before the end of year, and another gun in the game. So you did shite, mate.
Yeah. My pathetic defense of this will be that new train is so different from old train that it's basically a new map.
I'm not against that. I'll give that one. I think we actually said in the podcast about train, we talked about train for a minute.
Yeah.
I'll take
Okay.
that.
Because I'm concerned about the time here, let's move on to some predictions, because if I'm right in saying we are doing them in this show. And we're gonna have the same questions, but I thought it would first be fun to just do one single free-for-all prediction that isn't covered by those questions. So we'll start with you, Elliot.
Okay.
You got one?
You got to give me a little bit more time than that. Hang on. I'm sure you.
Okay. I'll go first, right?
Yeah.
And this is because although it's technically a 2026 one, a report would go out for it for 2025. Either Kato or Cologne will be ruined by being a major in 2026 because Valve will feel a need to have one of those events be a major again.
I don't mind that prediction.
No, it's a good prediction, but I hate.
No. I'm not talking about the actual thing of it. I don't mind it as a prediction.
It happening would be a travesty because you just get one less good event in the year and fuck that noise.
Okay.
I've got one. An Asian team that isn't the Mongols will make playoffs at a big event in 2025.
Bold. I like it.
Yeah.
Logan?
I won't be hosting this podcast in 2025.
Oh, a very good prediction.
That's my prediction.
Do you know who will be?
Not me.
Ryan at Dust 2.
Ah, okay.
Sorry, Ryan not at Dust 2.
Not at Dust 2.
Well,
we'll put this whole spiel here because I don't have a better place to do it because at the end fucking sucks too.
Yeah.
So as of this episode, I am no longer hosting Overtime on Inferno. Of my own
What the
volition.
fuck?
Of my own volition. Let's be very clear here.
You did also lose a wrestling match.
What?
Don't worry about it.
You looked so genuinely concerned. What? I lost? I thought I pinned him.
So for the end of this year, I am will not be doing Overtime on Inferno anymore as a podcast. I came to the decision a couple months ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, an amount of months ago. I just from a viewer perspective, I don't know if folks listening realized, but it's been a while since I like really watched Counter-Strike to a high degree. Times are a little fucky for me, but on top of that, I'm just really fucking bored of the game. And it's really not helpful to host a podcast about Counter-Strike where you don't remember much about Counter-Strike and haven't watched that much about it. And it kind of started feeling like a job on like having to keep up with everything, and that's never what this whole thing was for. So, a couple things with that. One, Sam will be the new host for the rest of the year. Thank you to the
get
17
your wish
people.
miracle.
Yeah, thank you to the people who suggested that. It was already happening. Haha, we've won. And number two, I'm not leaving esports at all. So this is where I get to do my state mandated plug. If you, I have talked about it on the podcast before, and it probably seemed like a particularly easy jump from one to the other. I'm starting my own shtick, writing about League of Legends, specifically the LEC and the LCS. I have my own website. It's not as cool as TLDR's, but it is still cool. It's got a logo and everything. That's definitely not new in the last 3 days. The first article is up right now. You can go to thestratbook.gg and read right there. I'll have power rankings coming out and stuff. So if you're interested in that at all, there's a nice welcome article that goes through the entire reasons why I'm leaving here and why I'm starting up there. That's my prediction for the year. It's the only one that's going to be right on this goddamn list because I'm still predicting all the Counter-Strike shit for the next year.
And we're going to have you back to laugh at all your dog shit predictions next year.
Yeah, we'll bring you back for the special.
So let's make some fucking predictions, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, player of the year.
I mean, it's really hard to not pick Donk again. I'm going to pick m0NESY.
I'm also going to say m0NESY.
I think... maybe this is an extra prediction that goes in there. I think at some point the AWP is going to be better in CS2, and I think m0NESY's going to shit down everyone's throat.
That's my point. My view as well is that your final prediction about Pika's advantage that will happen in 2025, and probably maybe by around Cologne time. And for that 6 months after that, you're going to see a level from m0NESY that you've maybe never even seen from Simple.
m0NESY is going to leave some skid marks down some throats. And
the interesting thing is going to be what damage that does to Donk. But Logan,
I'm putting Donk.
You're putting Donk. I was going to say you now have the opportunity to troll, but you've gone.
Your Kinder.
I'm gonna put Donk. Okay. So here's the thing, right? Donk is the best player in the world right now. I'd be shocked if he doesn't get number one on HLTV awards for the year. I understand that someone in our Discord put the top rated players and ZywOo was rated slightly higher than him. I don't give a fuck. Donk is the best player in the world right now. He is 17 years old? Like, he's not going to become worse suddenly. And they already had the big dip in the middle of the year where they kind of forgot how to play as a team. And now that they've won a major, I think that there's a little bit more pushing from there. And I don't see them getting worse. I see the m0NESY thoughts, but I'm concerned what will happen on a G2 team without that removes half their team and adds new players to what that will do for m0NESY in the beginning half of the year.
Maybe.
Can I add in a secret special question?
Yes, you can. Do you want to message it to me, or do you want to do it now?
Sure. I'll message it to you.
Okay.
So we can have it secret and special.
I would say to that, right? I don't want anyone to respond to this because I'm wary of the time. I don't think Donk is the best player in the world. I think he's the best aimer in the world, and I think that's a big thing in Counter-Strike. But I do think MOUZ is genuinely a better player. Okay, cool.
I think Donk is the best player in the world.
I think you're a fucking idiot. Moving on. Sorry,
I'm glad we got here.
If Donk isn't the best player in the world,
unnecessary.
it means Chopper is the best in-game leader in the world. Next.
Moving on. Team of the year for next year, and I think this one's really fucking hard.
Really hard.
Team of the year.
Oh man,
I actually
difficult.
don't. I don't.
All right, fuck it. I'm putting MOUZ Sports.
You're insane. You're
I am
actually
insane.
insane.
I am insane, but you know what? I won't.
I don't
be on
know
this
who it
podcast
is, but I know
weekly
it's
to
not
hear for my
MOUZ
takes.
Sports.
Yeah.
No. See, here's the bit. I'm gonna say takes right now, and then pay absolutely 2% attention to Counter-Strike in the next year, and then I'm gonna be brought back, and I'm gonna be held accountable for my takes. But I won't know what's happened. So if I say MOUZ, that makes next year even funnier.
No,
I'm going
it can't.
MOUZ.
It can't.
Do you know the only?
Exertion breaks through a wall, figures out how to entry frag on a stage, and they're the best team in the world. They get a good replacement for Yimfat. I see it.
I think the only team I have any amount of confidence in it being is Spirit.
See, I think G2. I think if I'm saying Monarchy's going to be the best player in the world next year, and if G2 get the replacement for Nico that we've heard, then I actually think G2.
I just think Hunter and Snacks hold them back too much for it to be G2.
But
I'm
not sure Snacks will be there past March.
Well,
So here's the thing.
and I'm not sure how long Hunter should be there either. But
No.
I'm convinced that the only people on G2 right now after the major are Monacy and MOUZ, and that everyone else is.
no, I don't think that's true. But I think it's over a 6-month period, and that's not. A couple times me and Elliot have said oh, these things we've heard. I ain't heard any bullshit like that. That's just realistically what it should be.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't go for G2 because I think it will take them too long.
I think
That's your
I just
long
think-
simmer team.
I just think Monarchy's just gonna destroy people next year, and I just think they're gonna do it.
Okay, first major winner.
I will note that the major is in Austin, Texas. I don't know how that adjusts anyone's predictions.
G2 is Stewie 2K. Next. First major winner. I think it might be Spirit again, and I think they're going to be up and down next year, but I think they're going to win the first major.
I think.
How psychotic is it me to say heroic?
It's pretty psychotic.
Okay, excellent.
You can say it.
Is
I'm locking it in.
If they don't make a change and they stay at this current level,
Yeah.
They're at a
Are we
real
due-
No,
level.
no.
are we
The
do a
real
dark horse major winner?
Yeah, but the real chaotic pick is Falcons.
See, I was going to do those for second major, not first.
Okay.
I think with where they are in the rankings, they
Yeah,
might
it's
They're
not
good
be
fucking
take
first.
cursed. No, Falcons is cursed. I refuse. Move on.
I think for me, first major winner, Spirit, and if it's not Spirit, FaZe.
Ooh, I thought about saying FaZe. I just don't think they got the juice. I know, but I just don't think they got the juice.
I think it very much depends on if a roster move happens.
Yeah.
If a roster move happens in the coming month, they ain't getting close to it.
Yeah, that's why one of the reasons I steered away.
Because if Rops is to leave, they ain't. I don't care if they sign Spinks. Rops is so much better than Spinks. He's so
Sticking
much
with
better.
Baroque.
And
Everyone
he's
else
paid,
above them
definitely.
is making moves.
So I'm gonna go with Spirit as well. Second major,
All
I'm
right, I
gonna
gotta
say
take here.
fuck it and go with Falcons. Because I think by that point they will have spent enough money and got the rankings high enough that they can convince people.
G2 beat Mongols in the final of the second major.
Whatever team signed James at the beginning of the year.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
one.
that's good. That's good. That's good. That's a good prediction.
All right. Hear me out here.
No.
James to Falcons. Thoughts?
No.
Thoughts.
Okay,
I
so
hate
here's the
it
problem.
so much that I love it.
It will just be Virtus Pro.
Exactly.
But-
I really want to see. I really want to see
no.
a really expensively
No.
assembled Virtus Pro.
No.
Virtus
No,
Pro,
Virtus
but
Pro with
Nico with a
electronic.
rope around his neck.
I'm sorry, you think that James is gonna get ahead of Nico here? No, it's Nico's fucking team. James just gonna be the guy with the op. There's
Yeah.
not gonna be any IG.
Yeah, it's gonna be
there's gonna
hilarious.
no-
So James had Yakinda. You think he can't deal with
no.
Nico?
Yes, I do not think.
Nico's Yakinda with hands.
I'm sorry. Can you just imagine Zonic coaching James?
Yeah.
That I actually can.
Sorry.
No,
Sonic
that I
had
can.
Device.
Yeah, wait, that's a really
Yeah, like
That's
wait,
the best
Zonic,
part about
wait,
that.
Sonic James actually sounds like a good combo. Fuck.
yeah, it'd be so. It'd be. I'm telling you, there aren't that many good landing.
And then
spots
they
for
won't
James,
have to go and
so-
get some shitter like Brokey.
No, I think the landing spot for James is some CIS team is going to say, "Fuck it, we're signing this guy because no one else wants him," because they realize other teams realize they have to
Yeah.
build
I
around.
think
how
it'll be
James wants to
Betboon.
build. I think that some CIS team will sign him. They'll build around James on what he wants.
Yeah.
And they'll be good because we haven't seen James when James has the keys, which he has had for a while. James' teams have not been bad, regardless of who's on them, other than him. He's figured it out.
Okay.
What about complexity, James?
Shut the fuck up. Move on.
I kind of think that's good, but anyway.
I do.
Anyway. Biggest roster move of the year.
Well,
And I will say it because we've said that we think that there's probably phone calls happening right now. If it does happen, then Rops to Falcons. I think is
I'm not sure
probably
it's
the biggest
bigger
one
than
of the
Nico
year.
to Falcons is the problem.
No, but I don't think we should count that.
Yeah, I don't think we should count Nico to Falcons. I think Nico to Falcons is a move that we know about already.
Yeah, fine.
I mean, is it stupid to say whoever signs Simple?
I don't even think that's that big. I think
I don't either because
Yeah,
it's
it's
very
big.
known about. Like,
At this point, like I honestly don't think it is that big. Whoever signed Simple.
I need to cook in the lab. Hang on a second.
I would
Is
say
it-
like
is
as my
Space
second
replacing
choice
it?
one.
Like,
As my second choice one, it would be whichever superstar AWPer Falcons end up signing.
well,
'Cause
it's rumored
providing
to be
they don't-
Device, right?
Well, exactly. Like if they sign, like, think about this, right? I don't know who you get as the fifth, whether you get someone a bit more aggressive, or an anchor or an
hold on.
IGL. But
can
if
we-
you
what's
have
the- what's the-
Nico, Magisk, Rops, and Device on a team, that's
Nico,
so
Magisk,
good.
Nico Magisk, Rops. They're
Device,
saying
and-
Device.
And like any other dickhead, that's
Who-
so good.
I thought there was still one more player.
No. No, everyone is gone.
The website still says Simples on there. I thought they were only looking for.
I've
three.
been in the
So-
lab and I
Oh,
have my
no.
answer.
Oh no.
It's Caillou Suke from Spirit Academy to Spirit's main team.
Who goes?
Zontix.
Okay.
Or Magix. But
Personally, I think it should be Magic's, but okay.
I think Magix is pretty versatile. He's been on this team for a while, and he was also the second best player in the major final.
I just
I'm-
love
okay,
Third best player
Zontix,
in the
hold on.
mate.
major final.
I've got a
Zontix
new
is such
take.
an
I don't love
arsehole. He's
Zontix.
fantastic. No,
I
I've got
don't
a new
like
take.
him because he doesn't aim at the head, and that really annoys me.
I have a new take. Liquid's second major full team roster move of the year. The second one, not the first one.
full team.
The like multi-team member remaking of team
Okay.
roster move.
I made a note at the start of this to myself, so I didn't forget it. I also have a Liquid roster move later on in the discussion.
Excellent.
Okay.
Because I'm
I'm
convinced that they're
certain
gonna
it's
remake
going
their
to happen.
team like at least twice next year.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I'm certain on one of these roster moves.
All right.
So I realise I probably should have said Elliot's one. So we're gonna do that one quickly because the rest of these are sort of roster based. What's a shock/dark horse top 20 player? And I'm going to start with you, Elliot, because I assume you already know who you want to say.
Yeah, either Mazzinho or 910 is going to make top 20 next year. I think Mazzinho.
That's for the end of 25, right?
Yeah.
I just want to
Is that much of a shock?
I don't think that's that much of a shock because I don't. This may sound a little ballsy, but like, would it be that much of a shock if they sneaked in at the end of top 20 this year?
Yes,
like in
it would.
1920?
Yeah, it would. Of course,
They've won a couple of events.
Yeah, he's not like
Smaller
top 20
events.
though, is he?
Maybe not.
Yeah, but would it surprise you if enough people like said, you know, it would be really cool to get one of the Mongols here at the end and voted someone top 20? Like,
I
I'm
don't
not
think
saying
he's.
it's going
I
to
don't think he's
happen.
particularly close at the moment, to be honest.
Okay, I've got mine.
Go on.
Either that Polish fella from Ents.
Kaspersky?
Yeah, him.
Ex-Kaspersky?
But only if he gets a move.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the one I actually have more faith in is Flammus.
I thought you might say Crimbo, but again, I guess it's
You
not
know what?
that
Fuck it.
wild.
Big Uzera.
I don't think Crimbo would even if he got a move, to be honest.
Big
Big
Uzera.
Uzera is bold. I like that.
Tell you what, are you on a bolder one? If he leaves his current team, Inns from FlyQuest. If he leaves
That is a
FlyQuest,
bold move right there.
Inns could beat top 20. He's so
Yeah, okay.
good.
Okay.
Like,
No,
the
I'm
only,
kind of
No,
the
I
only
see the
reason,
vision.
the only reason FlyQuest have ever won a game
I
against
see
a good
the
team.
vision. I see the vision.
I see the vision. I like the vision. Anyway, so the next one we have is the Contrarian Award of the Year, and I'm going to take a page out of Elliot's book, Cutting Down.
This is one that is
It's the
universally
roster that-
disliked but ends up being correct.
Yes.
If people still somehow think he's not utter dog shit, get that fucker gone.
Minus exertion.
I hate that I'm really going to talk about complexity again here. I did it last year too, but like the answer is remaking complexity.
Is that Contrarian?
I think in NA it is.
I will say,
Maybe.
at some point,
it's not-
Mongols are going to
it's-
do something as well.
Like, let's be clear. It's not the floppy or if they made a move from Grim. It's the JTTC Halzerk Elige. If they start making moves there, that's when I think.
I mean,
becomes
JT and TC should both go.
I
but that's
don't
not-
disagree, but I think generically that would be received as not a particularly good roster move.
I would I'd just like to jump back very quickly and Elliot, why minus exertion? I know we've shit talked him a lot, but do you actually think MOUZ would?
I think they might at some point, because at some point they're going to just go,
Ooh.
look, we it's just not working. I mean, it might be a case of they have to sell him because somebody wants to buy him, but I think at some point they're going to lose exertion, and it's not going to be as bad as people think. It ends up actually being
I think for me the scary thing about exertion's career prospects is like we said about Shuey earlier. He's the next call up for IGL of FaZe. Exertion's the Rain call up. He ain't got
He does not
1%
have
of the aura that Rain has.
He doesn't have the huevos.
Yeah, like that is
Sui has
terrifying.
huevos. Sui has
Yeah.
Carrigan huevos.
Right.
Exertion does not have. And that's why, actually, I think, I think it'll be good. It'll be better. MOUZ will get the better deal if Exertion goes to FaZe. They should do a straight swap. That would be fun.
Okay. So the Rising Star of 2024, and I'm gonna ban
You get to add a player every year.
Kaiosuke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna ban him.
Okay.
Yeah, just from one host to another, you get to add a person.
Yeah,
to
that's
this
completely
banning
fine.
every
Thank you.
year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's why we have head trick and donk. So no head trick, no donk, and no guy on Spirit Academy.
This one's always really difficult because
You
anyone who's
have to-
actually any good, everyone already knows. Like for example, I think Magnajez is pretty good, but everyone already knows that.
Oh, I know
Yeah.
who I'm doing. Hold on. Let me I don't know.
I'm
his name. Let me
tempted to
pull it
say something so fucking stupid.
up. I'm here for it. Let's hear it.
So fucking stupid.
here for
Just let me double check something. Just
All right, I've got my take.
okay.
I'm
you
between
go.
two players, and I understand that it's two players, but I don't care. Aid Kit.
Sorry.
Like, you know, Alter Ego only have 3. I was going to bring this up earlier. Alter Ego have already cut 2 of their super teams.
I know. I'm thoroughly aware. Aid
Who the
Kit or
fuck
Waste
did
of
you
Ammo.
say?
We'll be
Alter
on.
Ego.
We'll be on a
With the
high
intent.
tier 2 team by the end of the year.
Absolute nonsense.
Okay. Okay.
This is what I'm saying. I am freed to do whatever the fuck I want now that I'm
Elliot,
going. I can
have
make
you got
terrible
one?
predictions.
I have one, but I'm not very confident in it.
Okay. You. Do you want to go first, or shall I? Because I've got 2. One is my stupid one. One is my one that's like okay.
If you've got 2, go first. I'll try and find
Okay.
a more
So
reasonable
my one that I think, probably will or should happen, for sure is JBA.
I don't think he's that good.
I'm not sure he's a fucking mad potential, but I think he's good enough that he'll get a move to M80 or complexity.
Okay, wait. It's
Yeah.
Rising Star, right? How
Yeah.
stupid is this if we just say Lake to complexity and Lake doing well?
I think that's
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, yeah.
Like that seems like a very reasonable take.
So would you like to hear my stupid one? This is going to
Yeah, go on.
anger you,
Always.
Elliot.
Yeah, probably.
The current in-game leader of OG, Crizzen.
Literally don't care. I mean, he might be good, but the problem is being on
Just
OG
for
just
OG.
hampers you so much because you're just damn
Do you know
good.
who else plays for OG right now?
Only because they're next to the team I was
Ooh.
going to pick my Rising Star from.
Fiku? Modi? Is it Modo or Modi?
Modo.
Modo.
Keto plays for that team, doesn't he?
No, not currently. He's been
Who's
benched.
the last one? They've only got
If
4.
you've benched
For what it's
Keto-
worth, it's Boz.
I'm sorry.
Buzz, there
If
we
you
go.
have benched Keto, where are we at? Like, how bad of a team are you?
The
if you
problem
benched-
Christen's going to have is he's on OG. Like, that's the
No,
problem.
Yeah.
that's fine, but I think he could overperform where other IGLs haven't. And from the interview I did with him a week or 2 ago, that's coming out tomorrow, I believe, or the day after, he's got a good head on him. Like, I think he'll have a good career.
I can't find a particularly serious pick. Not serious, but like one that is likely to happen. So I'm going for my 1%er, which is MOUZ at Tyloo.
I'm here for that.
That guy's mechanics are mental. He has no brain. He absolutely no brain.
I think for
but
ones
he's
like
so
that,
talented.
you just need like a super team to form, or
Nope.
oh no, he's gone. Or you just need like because I was gonna say Jambo, but I heard that all of Passion UA's English isn't particularly great.
Yeah, that's kind of an issue.
So I think yeah.
I mean, yeah, anyone on Passion UA, there's another one who's pretty good as well. I can't remember his name. off the
Yeah,
top
I
of my
can't think what his name is either.
head.
Where did we stop talking? Probably like
We were
Passion.
talking about Passion UA.
Yeah, so I would have said Jambo, but I heard his English isn't great. Like Fear is a decent shout.
I think there's a world where like Jambo joins B8 and B8 become like a top 15 team.
What, and Hedrick
I think-
starts rifling again?
Yeah. Or they cut Headtrick. I don't think Headtrick's that good.
Can
Maybe
I
not
can I
the
get a
orc, it might be on a
side
rifle.
bet?
Go on.
My side question gamble bet here. How many teams will Ben Tet IGL for in the next year?
One. He's going to be on Alter Ego. Oh, yeah.
See, but I feel that's a really bad bet because I feel like over the years it's been an average of 3.
Yeah, but, the regression to the mean and all that.
Okay, so the next one we have is storyline of the year.
I mean,
problem
the
is-
answer is just, is Falcons good after spending
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
of the
I
money
feel like
ever?
I feel like that's the only one I kind of have. Is like, are Falcons going to finally live up to the hype, or are they going to ruin the career of the greatest ever rifler?
I mean, we literally...
No, I've got a storyline for you. Elliot back on a top team. He's going to win a big event.
What top team?
Yeah,
FaZe.
like it a lot.
He's going to replace Rain on FaZe.
I like that one a lot.
I'm
want
no
that?
inside information. That's just
I...
gut feeling.
It's the
FaZe
shooting from
Elliot.
the fucking hip.
Gut
And it's
feeling.
also-
FaZe Elliot wins an event. Feels right. Probably in America.
It's also one that, just saying, if I was FaZe, as much as I think Rain, has the what was
Has
it
the
you
sauce.
said earlier?
Has the huevos.
Yes, as much as he has that, Elise
It's
is a
balls.
no-brainer,
He's
isn't
saying
it?
balls in
It's
Spanish.
it's
He's
no, it's
saying
eggs.
but
It's
like,
eggs in
he means
Spanish.
balls.
In a lot of
Yeah,
languages, the word for eggs is also the word for balls.
I don't
He
fucking
means
speak
balls.
Spanish,
That's
mate.
what he means.
I don't fucking speak Spanish. Elise for Rain would be a no-brainer. So I feel like me and Logan
Would that,
both agree Falcons is the storyline, right?
Elliot, would that
It
event
is,
in
but-
America be the major in Austin?
No, because I've already said
I don't think that would happen.
Spirit
soon
were going to
enough.
win that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Alright.
I could see him moving like this player break.
Maybe.
Yesterday.
Maybe.
I think Vitality would love to have him. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously MOUZ can't afford him, but like they'd love to have him.
Okay, so the dumbass move of the year.
Right, I've already got my answer for this. I wrote it down earlier. Liquid
Oh,
are going to
God.
re-sign Stanislaw, and it's going to be disastrous.
Do you know what the funny thing is about that?
So much, but please
Liquid?
continue.
Liquid, I agree. But if it was Complexity, I'd disagree.
He,
And I'm not
he's-
sure why.
He'd be better on Complexity than Liquid because the expectations are a bit lower.
Maybe.
And I think they'd listen to him more. I don't think Twist and Naf give a shit what Stanislaw has to say. Whereas I think, like, well, maybe not Elige. Hulzerk and Grim will probably listen to him.
Logan, you got one, mate? Because yours was really good last year, so I'm expecting big things.
For dumbass move of the year. Oh God, I don't know. I gotta think about that. I mean, the recipe for success here, it has to be a top team, but not top enough that it's like top 5, top 7, and it has to be a move that we would go, why the fuck would you ever do this? But at the end of the year, it would make sense. Furia minus K Serato.
What the fuck?
Wow.
To be fair, this is the exact same
okay.
reaction I got last year on saying VP minus J.
Yeah.
I've got to fucking live up to something now.
And whoa, hold on. Can I note? Furia minus K Serato does not just have to be Furia benching K Serato. That can be K Serato going to another team because Furia couldn't keep him.
Okay, I'm gonna say,
I'm gonna note that in here.
and this one
Okay.
could be fucked within the next
A
few
week.
weeks if he gets a move.
Yeah,
Simple back on Navi's main roster.
it's a terrible
Oh,
move. This is
yeah.
a great candidate.
Yeah,
this is
it's
a terrible
happening.
move, so it's a great candidate.
They're going to, like, bomb out of the first major. They're going to cut Alexi and Wonderful, bring in Simple and Snacks. It's going to be brilliant.
There was a real thought in my head of saying minus Lexi. Like that was a real thought. That was a choice. Can I? I'm gonna add one more move here. Eternal Fire minus Xantares because Xantares goes to another team.
I can see that.
So we predicted last year that it wasn't a prediction; it was a statement that Xantares should go to Vitality for Dupree. And I think that kind of move could be a move floated. And if Xantares chooses to do that, because it would not be up to like any of the rest of it, that move would be done.
Okay, so let's move on. We're gonna do it anyway. And I'm going to start off by saying 5 because they will return for some reason. How many players will EG have? I just want a number.
On their CS roster or in the organization?
CS roster, please.
5.
Yeah, they're gonna have a women's team. 5.
They don't
Ooh,
anymore.
women's team.
All
Yeah,
the
they're gonna-
women's
I
teams
know.
are dying.
See,
I know.
I was going to say
That's
that they
why
would,
EG are gonna come back.
I would say that they'd try and capitalize on
The major in
and
Austin.
well, maybe the major in Austin, but also like a couple of like
They're
wild
definitely
card
signing Stewie.
Wildcard doing okay at this major, but then they'll go and sign like I don't care about NACS, but they'll sign a dog shit team, and they'll think that they'll make it because they'll give them org support.
I'm sticking with my thought process from last year. Is that I am convinced that EG is just gonna like fucking drop dead one of these days, and like Sir Scoots is gonna buy the branding, my goat, and they're gonna put it on the ESEA main team or something like that. Then let them do NA shit.
How about
Okay.
how many players will TSM have?
That's
Zero.
a good question.
Zero.
Zero.
Okay,
They're at 0 right now, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I
and
don't
they'll
think it's
have
gonna get
5
better.
for 6 months, and then it will be 0.
2.
Most
The answer
roster
is
moves over the year.
2 bench players in contract jail.
Okay, fine. Most roster moves over the year.
Oh God.
Um,
I'm going to
MOUZ.
say Nip.
Nip
MOUZ?
is not a bad shot. I
MOUZ is
think
good.
MOUZ is going to go through a lot of other teams taking players from them.
Yeah.
Other teams paying buyouts and taking players from them, and so they're going to be moves out, moves in, and that's a lot of moves to begin with.
Virtus
And then they may
Pro.
have some internal turmoil.
I'm going
Ooh.
Virtus Pro.
Very good one.
Can I add to this whatever team James signs to?
But
Because they'll sign 4 players and he'll be fiercely loyal to them.
I mean, I just think Nip are going to make like 1 or 2 changes now. They're going to fail again in 6 months' time, and then they're going to fucking blow shit up.
Yeah.
And based on ENTS, which I still think is the one that had the most, they made like 8 changes this year. So
Yeah.
if you can get like between 6 and 8, you're on for a winner.
I think Virtus Pro are going to have to keep changing players to try and feed Electronics' ego.
And finally, we come to Valve's biggest change to CS in 2025. And
Counter-Strike 3.
I am once again going to just parrot Elliot and say that they will finally fix the Peekers advantage.
They are going to, sadly, take out Mirage and
I will
Bring
kill
in-
myself.
bring in probably cash.
Shoes.
The map,
skins.
not money.
They're
They're gonna.
I'm
they're
going
gonna-
for winning this year. We saw them add gun charms this year. We saw the fucking armory, whatever it is,
not
this
a
year.
bad shout.
I'm going for things that make Valve money, and adding fucking Jordans makes Valve's money.
As
And
long
I
as they can wear
think-
high heels.
I think we should leave it on that one. So Logan,
it's a long
if
one.
you could please do the honors for the last time.
And that'll be it for us until January. We're on break, I believe, right? That sounds right to me.
Yeah, I ain't doing another one. Fuck these guys. Well, fuck Elliot.
Well, no.
Go-
Elliot, newsletter's on break now, right? It's about to
Probably it'll probably be on Thursday. I'm not sure. We haven't
Okay,
we haven't put it
yeah.
on break yet.
We're about to be
I
on
forgot.
break. These two will be back in January. You can find us on Twitter at Logan Ramhab, at AZS, at AN1MO CS2 with a 1 in the middle of it, at ReTLDR. You can find my new esports stuff at thestratbook.gg. And these two will be back in the new year.
See you later.
Peace out.